Let me be clear. The Western media, those voices that have long narrated Africa's story through a lens of distortion, are not your friends. They are not the arbiters of truth. For decades, they have painted our continent as a land of despair, of flies and famine, of war and weakness, while ignoring our resilience, our pride, and our potential. They have crafted a narrative that serves their interests, one that justifies their exploitation of our lands, our resources, and our people. Today, as Burkina Faso rises to reclaim what is rightfully ours, they are rattled. They are desperate. And in their desperation, they will stop at nothing to sow division among us. Since we took bold steps to assert our sovereignty, expelling foreign troops, nationalizing our gold mines, and building a future where Burkina Faso benefits from its own wealth, the Western powers and their media arms have lost their grip on our resources. They no longer control the flow of our gold, our zinc, our manganese. They no longer dictate the terms of our destiny. And this, my people, is what they cannot bear. They will not sit idly by as we break the chains of neo-colonialism. They will try every means, every lie, every manipulation, to destabilize our government, to turn you against the vision we are building together, and to restore their dominance over our land. The Western media will flood your ears with stories of chaos, of failure, of a Burkina Faso that cannot stand on its own. They will amplify voices of dissent, not because they care for justice, but because they seek to fracture our unity. They will call our revolution a dictatorship, our patriotism a threat, our self-reliance a fantasy. Do not be swayed. These are the tactics of those who fear a Burkina Faso that no longer bends the knee. They will infuse hatred, spread rumors, and fabricate crises to make you doubt the path we have chosen. But I say to you, reject their poison. See through their deceit. Their words are not meant to inform you, they are meant to control you. My people, in this critical hour, I urge you to be vigilant, to be authentic, and to cast aside sentiment that clouds your judgment. Authenticity is our shield. It is the strength that comes from knowing who we are and what we stand for. We are Burkinabé, descendants of Thomas Sankara, inheritors of a legacy of courage and defiance. We are a people who have endured the weight of imperialism, yet we stand tall, unbroken, and unbowed. To be authentic is to honor this truth, to act with purpose, and to reject the temptation to be swayed by fleeting emotions or foreign narratives. Sentiment, when unchecked, can blind us. It can make us vulnerable to manipulation, to promises of quick fixes or hollow alliances. The West will try to exploit your frustrations, your fears, your hopes, to make you question the sacrifices we are making for a free and prosperous Burkina Faso. They will whisper that their way is better, that their aid is your salvation, that their model of governance is your only path. But ask yourselves, where was their aid when our children went hungry? Where was their democracy when our resources were plundered? Where was their compassion when our villages were attacked, and our people lived in fear? We must be clear-eyed. We must be disciplined. Every action you take, whether in your fields, your schools, your businesses, or your communities, must be rooted in the truth of who we are and what we are building. When you hear a story, question its source. When you see a headline, ask who benefits. When you feel anger or doubt, pause and seek the facts. Our enemies thrive on confusion. We will defeat them with clarity. Our adversaries feed on division. We will overcome them with unity. Our detractors rely on your sentiment. We will prevail through your authenticity. Make no mistake, my people. What we are undertaking is nothing short of a revolution not just for Burkina Faso, but for all of Africa. We are rewriting the story of a continent that has been exploited for too long. We are building a nation where our gold enriches our people, not foreign corporations. We are creating a future where our children learn in schools we control, where our farmers grow food for our tables, where our industries serve our needs. This is why the West fears us. This is why they plot against us. They know that a strong Burkina Faso will inspire Mali, Niger, and beyond. A ripple that will become a wave, washing away the last vestiges of imperialism. But revolutions are not won with words alone. They demand sacrifice, vigilance, and an unwavering commitment to the truth. The raw materials beneath our soil, gold, copper, manganese, are not just resources. They are the lifeblood of our sovereignty. For too long, others have grown rich while we remained poor. Now, as we take back what is ours, the vultures circle. They will send their media to discredit us, their agents to destabilize us, their proxies to divide us. They will claim we are failing, even as our economy grows, our poverty rates decline, and our people rally behind the vision of a new Burkina Faso. I call upon every Burkinabé to stand firm. Be the eyes and ears of our revolution. Report the lies you hear, challenge the narratives you see, and hold fast to the truth of our struggle. When you work, work with purpose. When you speak, speak with conviction. When you dream, dream of a Burkina Faso that answers to no one but its people. Let authenticity be your guide, and let unity be your strength. We are not alone in this fight. Across Africa, from the streets of Accra to the villages of Bamako, our brothers and sisters watch us with hope. They see in us the possibility of a new dawn, a continent that rises not on the terms of the West, but on the will of its people. We carry their aspirations, just as we carry the legacy of Sankara, who taught us that a slave who cannot assume his own revolt does not deserve to be pitted. We will not be pitted. We will be victorious. This is not the end of my message, but a call to action that continues with every step we take together. I will return to you with more, to share the progress of our revolution, to outline the next steps in our journey, and to remind you of the power that lies within us. For now, hold fast to this truth. The Western media may try to infuse hatred, but they cannot extinguish our spirit. They may plot to end our government, but they cannot break our resolve. They may covet our resources, but they will never again possess our future. My people, as we stand tall in this moment of transformation, carving a path toward a Burkina Faso that answers only to its people, I must speak directly to those who continue to meddle in our affairs, the Western media and the powers they serve. Hear me clearly. Your time of dictating Africa's story is over. Your pens, your cameras, your airwaves have been weapons wielded against us for too long, and today I say enough. Stop spreading your hate-filled news about our continent. Stop twisting our struggles into your narratives of failure. Stop painting Africa as a broken land in need of your salvation. We are Africans, and we will define who we are, what we stand for, and where we are going. To the Western media outlets, those headquartered in Paris, London, New York, and beyond, I speak to you not with malice, but with the clarity of a people who have seen through your deception. For centuries, you have profited from our pain, sensationalized our struggles, and ignored our triumphs. You have broadcast images of our children as helpless, our nations as chaotic, our leaders as corrupt, all while turning a blind eye to the systems of exploitation you defend. You call our revolutions coups, our self-determination chaos, our sovereignty a threat. This is not journalism. This is propaganda, designed to keep Africa on its knees. Your headlines drip with hatred, not the kind born of passion, but the cold, calculated kind that serves your masters. You amplify every misstep, exaggerate every challenge, and fabricate crises to make our people doubt themselves. You tell the world that Burkina Faso cannot govern itself, that Africa cannot rise without your guidance, that our resources are better managed in your hands. But let me remind you, it is your greed that has bled our continent dry. It is your interference that has fueled our conflicts. It is your arrogance that assumes you know what is best for us. We see you for what you are, and we reject your lies. Stop your hate news. Stop your distortions. Stop pretending you speak for Africa when you have never walked our fields, shared our meals, or felt the weight of our history. You have no right to tell our story. That right belongs to us, the farmers of Kédougou, the teachers of Ouagadougou, the miners of Hound, the youth of Bobo Dioulasso. We are the ones who will write the next chapter of Burkina Faso, of Africa, and it will not be written in your language of division and despair. I say to you, Western media, and to the powers behind you, face off Africa. Leave us to be Africans. For too long, you have treated our continent as your playground, our resources as your birthright, our people as your pawns. You have drawn our borders, looted our wealth, and imposed your systems upon us, all while claiming it was for our own good. No more. Africa is not your colony. Burkina Faso is not your vassal state. We are a people with our own dreams, our own values, our own vision for the future, a vision that does not need your approval or your validation. To be African is to carry the spirit of our ancestors, who fought against your chains and refused to bow. To be African is to draw strength from our land, our cultures, our languages, our unity. We do not need your templates of democracy, your models of development, or your definitions of success. We will build a Burkina Faso that reflects the soul of its people, where our gold builds our schools, our cotton clothes our children, our ideas shape our future. Your role in this story is over. Step back. Let Africa breathe. Let Africa be African. My people, as I speak these words to the world, I turn again to you, the heart of our revolution. The Western media will not heed my call easily. They will double down, spreading more lies, more fear, more division. They will try to make you believe that our path is doomed, that our government is failing, that our dreams are impossible. Do not let them into your hearts. Hold fast to the authenticity I spoke of earlier. Be true to who we are as Burkinabe, as Africans. Let your actions, whether in your homes, your workplaces, or your communities, reflect the pride of a people who will no longer be defined by others. When you hear their stories of our supposed failures, counter them with the truth of our progress. Our schools are reopening, our fields are yielding, our security forces are reclaiming our lands from terror. When they try to divide us by tribe, by region, by faith, stand united as one Burkina Faso, one Africa. When they tempt you with promises of foreign aid or foreign favor, remember that their gifts come with chains. We will build our nation with our own hands, our own minds, our own sweat. That is what it means to be authentic. That is what it means to be free. This is not just a fight for our land or our resources. It is a fight for our narrative, for the right to tell our own story. The Western media wants to keep that power for themselves, to keep Africa as a footnote in their history books. But we are not a footnote. We are the authors of our destiny. Every step we take, every road we build, every child we educate, every terrorist we defeat, is a page in the story of a new Africa. And that story will not be written by foreign correspondents or corporate interests. It will be written by us, the people of Burkina Faso, the people of Africa. So, I urge you, my brothers and sisters, to be the guardians of our truth. Speak it in your villages, share it in your markets, teach it to your children. Let the world know that Burkina Faso is rising, not because of the West, but in spite of it. Let them know that Africa is awakening, not to follow their path, but to forge our own. And to the Western media, I say again, stop your hate news. Leave Africa to be African. Your time of dominance is over, and our time of liberation has begun. Look to the pages of our continent's history, my people, and you will see a pattern, a sinister strategy of division, deception, and destruction. The Western powers, through their media and their agents, have long manipulated our people to turn against their own, all to secure their grip on our resources and our future. Consider the tragic fate of Libya's Muammar Gaddafi, a leader who dared to envision an Africa free from the chains of imperialism. Gaddafi sought to unite our continent, proposing an African union with its own currency, the gold-backed dinar, to break the stranglehold of the dollar and the euro. He invested Libya's oil wealth in schools, hospitals, and infrastructure, lifting his people from poverty and challenging the West's narrative of African failure. Libya, under Gaddafi, was a nation where citizens enjoyed free education, free healthcare, and interest-free loans, a model that threatened the Western system of exploitation. But what did the West do? They could not tolerate a strong, independent African leader. Through their media, they painted Gaddafi as a tyrant, a madman, a threat to the world. They flooded the airwaves with stories of atrocities, many exaggerated or fabricated, to justify their intervention. They armed factions within Libya, sowing discord among the people, turning brother against brother. In 2011, NATO, led by Western powers, bombed Libya into chaos under the guise of protecting civilians, while their media cheered the destruction. They incited elements of the Libyan population, manipulating their grievances, to rise against Gaddafi. The result: a nation reduced to rubble, a leader brutally killed, and a continent robbed of a visionary. Today, Libya remains fractured, its oil fields in foreign hands, its people suffering, while the West plunders what Gaddafi had built for Africa. This, my people, is the cost of falling for their lies. Turn further back to the Congo, to the story of Patrice Lumumba, another giant of Africa's liberation. Lumumba, the first prime minister of an independent Congo in 1960, dreamed of a nation where the vast wealth of its copper, cobalt, and diamonds would uplift its people, not enrich foreign corporations. He spoke of African unity, of rejecting Western domination, of building a Congo that served Congolese. But the West, Belgium, the United States, and their allies, saw Lumumba's vision as a threat to their control over Congo's riches. They used their media to brand him a communist, a dangerous radical, sowing fear and division. They funded and armed his enemies, manipulated Congolese factions to turn against him, and orchestrated his overthrow. Lumumba was betrayed, captured, and murdered in 1961, his body dissolved in acid to erase his legacy. The Western media barely mourned. Instead, they justified his death, while their governments installed a puppet Mobutu, who plundered Congo for decades, leaving it impoverished while Western companies grew fat on its resources. Do you see the pattern, my people? The West does not need to invade us with armies when they can invade our minds with their media. They weaponize our own people against us, turning neighbor against neighbor, tribe against tribe, citizen against leader. In Libya, they found Libyans willing to take their arms and their money, convincing them they were fighting for freedom when they were paving the way for chaos. In Congo, they found Congolese ready to betray Lumumba, persuaded by promises of power or wealth, only to deliver their nation into the hands of exploiters. This is their playbook: amplify discontent, fund division, and let Africans destroy themselves while they watch and profit. The Western media is their megaphone. They flood our airwaves with stories that pit us against each other, that make us doubt our leaders, that make us question our own capacity to govern. They tell us our governments are corrupt, our societies are backward, our dreams are unrealistic. They did it to Gaddafi, to Lumumba, and now they try it with us in Burkina Faso. They whisper that our revolution is failing, that our nationalization of resources is reckless, that our rejection of foreign troops is dangerous. They hope you will listen, that you will turn against your own government, that you will hand back the gold, the zinc, the manganese we have reclaimed for our people. They want you to believe that only they can save you, when in truth, they are the ones who have kept you in chains. My people, we must learn from Gaddafi and Lumumba. Their deaths were not just losses for Libya and Congo, they were losses for all of Africa. They were warnings to us, reminders that the West will stop at nothing to maintain their dominance. They will use their media to inflame your grievances, to exploit your frustrations, to make you see your leaders as enemies rather than allies in the fight for liberation. They will offer you aid, investment, or protection, but these are traps disguised as gifts. Their aid comes with conditions that bind us, their investments strip our wealth, their protection demands our submission. We must reject their tactics with the same authenticity I have called for before. Be authentic in your love for Burkina Faso, in your commitment to our revolution, in your refusal to be swayed by foreign voices. When you hear their stories of our supposed failures, remember Libya's prosperity before NATO's bombs, Congo's hope before Lumumba's murder. When they try to divide us, remember that our strength lies in our unity. Fula, Mossi, Bobo, Dioula, and all our people standing as one. When they tempt you with promises of a better life under their influence, remember that their promises left Libya in ruins, Congo in poverty, and Africa in chains. Our revolution is not just a fight for Burkina Faso. It is a fight to break the cycle of betrayal and destruction. We are building a nation where our resources, our gold, our cotton, our land, serve our people first. Since we took back control, our gold production has increased, with 73 tons mined in 2023 alone, and the profits are now funding schools, hospitals, and roads for our people, not foreign shareholders. Our military, cleansed of foreign influence, has reclaimed territory from terrorists, restoring safety to villages that once lived in fear. Our farmers are planting more, our youth are learning more, our nation is rising more. These are the truths the Western media will not tell you, because they fear a Burkina Faso that stands tall, an Africa that stands free. But they will try to stop us, as they stopped Gaddafi and Lumumba. They will flood your phones, your radios, your minds with stories of doubt and division. They will find voices within our borders to echo their lies, just as they did in Libya and Congo. Do not let them succeed. Be vigilant. Question every narrative that comes from their mouths. Hold fast to the vision of a Burkina Faso that answers to no one but its people. Let the sacrifices of Gaddafi, Lumumba, and countless others fuel your resolve to protect our revolution, to guard our sovereignty, to write our own story. My people, this is not the end of our struggle, nor the end of my words to you. The Western media may continue their campaign of hate, but we will counter it with our truth. They may try to divide us, but we will stand united. They may dream of reclaiming our resources, but we will defend what is ours with every fiber of our being. Stay authentic, stay united, stay vigilant, as we continue this journey to a free and prosperous Burkina Faso, a beacon for a liberated Africa. Fatherland or death, we will win. My people, your efforts are the foundation of our revolution. Every seed you plant in our fertile fields, every lesson you teach in our classrooms, every road you pave, every rifle you carry to defend our soil, these are the bricks and mortar of a new Burkina Faso. Since we began this journey together, you have shown the world what a determined people can achieve. Our farmers have increased millet and sorghum yields by 15% in the last 2 years, feeding our families and reducing our reliance on foreign imports. Our miners, working in fields we now control, have boosted gold production to 73 tons in 2023, with every ounce funding our schools, our clinics, our future. Our soldiers, brave sons and daughters of the soil, have liberated over 30% of our territory from terrorists since 2022, restoring peace to villages that once knew only fear. These are not just numbers, they are testaments to your sweat, your sacrifice, your belief in our vision. You, the women weaving baskets in Dori, the youth building cooperatives in Banfora, the teachers shaping minds in Fad and Gourma. You are the heroes the Western media will never celebrate, because your success is their defeat. They will not tell the world of the hospitals we've opened, the schools we've rebuilt, or the markets buzzing with Burkinabe goods. They will not show the world the pride in your eyes as you work for a nation that belongs to you. But we know the truth. We see it in the fields blooming with maize, in the children learning in their own languages, in the communities standing tall against terror. Your good work is the pulse of our revolution, and I urge you to keep it beating strong. Our government is not a distant entity. It is you. It is the will of the people made manifest, the voice of Burkina Faso rising against centuries of exploitation. When we expelled foreign troops, it was your courage that gave us strength. When we nationalized our mines, it was your faith that fueled our resolve. When we rejected the chains of foreign aid with its hidden agendas, it was your unity that made us unbreakable. Every time you rally in the streets of Ouagadougou, every time you defend our revolution in your conversations, every time you choose to buy from a Burkinabe farmer or artisan, you are supporting a government that exists for one purpose: to serve you, the people. But the road ahead is not easy. The West, stung by our defiance, will intensify their efforts to undermine us. They will spread more lies, fund more dissent, and try to exploit any crack in our unity. They will point to our challenges, our struggle against terrorism, our economic growing pains, and call them failures, ignoring that these are the birth pangs of a nation breaking free. Do not waver. Your support is our shield. When you stand with our government, you stand against those who plundered our gold while our children went hungry, who armed our enemies while our villages burned, who wrote our story while we were silenced. Your support is not just for me or this administration. It is for the dream of a Burkina Faso where every citizen has a voice, a share, a future. My people, we are not just rebuilding a nation. We are redefining what it means to be African. We are showing the world that Africa can stand without crutches, that Burkina Faso can thrive without masters. The West fears this vision because it threatens their empire of exploitation. They fear a Burkina Faso where our gold builds our hospitals, not their banks. Where our cotton clothes our people, not their markets. Where our children learn the wisdom of Sankara, not the lies of their media. They fear an Africa where Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso stand as one, inspiring a continent to rise. This is why they fight us, and this is why we must fight harder. Not with weapons alone, but with our work, our unity, our authenticity. I call on you to deepen your commitment. Farmers, plant with pride, knowing your harvests feed a free nation. Workers, build with purpose, knowing your labor constructs our sovereignty. Youth, dream with boldness, knowing your ideas will shape our future. Soldiers, defend with honor, knowing you protect not just our borders but our dignity. Every act of support, no matter how small, is a blow against those who wish to see us fail. Every step you take in solidarity is a step toward a Burkina Faso that will echo in history as the spark that lit Africa's liberation. As I close this message, know that this is not the end of our journey, but a milestone in our fight. The Western media may continue their campaign of hate, but they cannot dim our light. They may try to divide us, as they did in Libya and Congo, but they will find a people united, a nation unbroken. Keep up your good work, my people. Keep supporting this government, not because we are perfect, but because we are yours. Together, we will build a Burkina Faso that stands as a beacon for Africa. A nation where our resources are our strength, our people are our pride, and our future is our own.